Hello, hello, welcome back. Happy 4th of July, my last crazy hat. There are lights, don't know if you can see. And this brim is really wonky. But it's a fun hat for a great holiday. And got my Eagle shirt on. America! Alright, USA, here we go. I have two more stocks. They're not related. I guess in the sense of possibly AI, they could be, but they're not related in the sense of each other. But they're great, and I'll show you why. Okay, so first is Marvell. That was in big news last fall, and it kind of just disappeared. I don't remember much people talking about Marvell in the last 6 months. It's all the Broadcom, Meta, Nvidia, all the magnificent seven players. Obviously, they're really important to have in your watch list. But Marvell was on the top 10 as far as I'm considering back in the fall, and then they just like fizzled out and no one cared anymore. Everyone looked at SMCI, AMD, others, and Marvell just. I've been doing some research and I was like, I think Marvell got a bad rap. I think they did. We all went over to AMD and thought, oh, let's boost AMD. They're going to do great work. They're going to do this, that, and the whole, combo merger with TSM, and everyone forgot about Marvell. Marvell is interesting. I think we need to be paying attention to this. If you look over here on the daily daily chart, a 1-day chart across the months here, full days, if you look back at right here, this interesting section. Can I draw this out for you? Let's see if it'll let me do it. No? Okay, fine. I'm still learning Legend. I don't really use Legend as much. But this area right here on the MACD, this low valley, we have a bullish movement right here around mid-April. Of course, April's Liberation Day, all the tariffs, everything crashed, and then we started recovering end of April into May. But right there on the dailies, the 1-day chart, it started to reverse. If we look up, that corresponds perfectly with this retested part right there. Right here, we'll zoom in a bit more. Okay, so we have a trend down. We hit the 50, dropped, hit the 50, confirmed the 50, and kept moving. That was what the MACD shows. Your volume shows. This indicator is showing a strong upper movement. It's past midway point. It has a bit of a return right here, but I think that's just because of we're coming into this next week of tariffs. We also had that 1 day over the weekend Canada threat of, oh, we're not going to we're going to tax the crap out of your cyber tech stuff, and so this took a little hit. But guidance on this for the last earnings, the last few really, guidance took the hit, and that's why it was dropping. Obviously, revenue was down. There were a few other reasons, not just guidance, but that's what was with this. And looking at other analysts and price targets, we have a pretty solid movement from even where we are now. We'll go from here to the top point. We have a $53 move back to all-time highs. And I'm thinking, all right, well, everything took a hit in April. This is a solid company. It makes custom chips. It makes optical parts and supplies. There's a lot this company can do with the AI boom and all the requirements that's going to need. So why not start to look at this one and see if they can turn the ship a bit more? Now, the only thing I am a bit worrisome in this is The stochastic RSI is showing a bit heavy on the high end. We're gonna kind of change these a little bit. And the standard RSI, which we're all used to seeing, is at 57, which is wonderful. Now let's bring this down to the last 3 months and see what it looks like. We're still in the daily, but we're kind of just zoomed in. The stochastic is showing a little bit of a reversal potential here. And if we come back to the low point of the midpoint of the stochastic, which would have been early June, that brings us to about here. So that would be a $10 downside move if it matches. Doesn't mean it has to. Stochastic does not have to be a 1-to-1. But if it does, there's a potential for a retest of this 50, especially at 70. We can come down a little bit more to like the 4-hour mark and see what it looks like. We have this downtrend, but is this a bear flag? Right? Zoom in. We've got this big red flag, or big red pepper with this uptrend. Is this just a long-standing bear flag over the course of the 2 days, and this is going to dip back down and retest that prior daily 50? Or is this going to, kind of stagger around, create a tight bull band, and then jump back up? Because if you look back here, we have a nice upside. Lots of ups and downs. It's quite volatile. And this one is moving from 69, right? Yeah, 69 down to 59. So that's a $10 move across the weekend. That's pretty significant. And I'm not saying that Marvell is going to be one you want to jump, into, buy tons of 2-week calls, you dump a bunch of money into it unless you want to hold for a long time. But we have a lot of negative volume here, but we had a lot of positive volume here, all within the last 2 weeks. And it does have things going for it. I know it doesn't look wonderful on the 4-hour. Here's a big MACD drop, but our RSI is low, stochastic is low. I think it has potentials for a rebound back up to at least mid-range. As we've broken this resistance right here at $73. We broke that resistance. We came back up, and we're kind of retesting it right now. But if that holds, I do believe we're going to go up. We're going to test this next level area between 84, 85 to 90 in there. As long as we can keep above 70, 71, I think it's going to retest all the way back up to 85 to 90. And especially with good product review or any kind of partnerships or any AI boom, this thing is going to take off. And it did. It wasn't like we're trying to regain something that didn't happen already. It already did this, right? Why can't I go back? Go back. We were already here before. Here we are sitting right at the support. We're already at prior support. It's literally on the line. Can you see that right there? It's literally on the line of prior support. So there is, in my opinion, we have this like, it's not Elliott wave exactly, but it looks very similar. These steps, boop, 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 boop. These steps. And as long as July 9th through the August tariffs don't go absolutely sideways off the cliff nuts, as long as they can stay somewhat consistent, no more threats, and we actually have something to work with, as long as that can happen, I do believe that we're going to see the retest of that $70 mark here on the 50, and then we're going to hop, as long as things are good, hop all the way up into the 85-90 mark right there. And then there's a few more spots in here that I can kind of reject off of that, maybe 100, but we're at 75. So a $15 move, is wonderful. April 21st to, we'll go with June 21st right here. Yeah. So 75.50. Okay, so if it can do that just based on tariff news, then it can do the same doubling up and jump to the next level. That's my opinion, not financial advice, but I like this one a lot for that reason alone. I think there's potentials here for doing something really good. You can check the 1 hour and just see, how crazy it might look for the last month. Actually, let's make it a bit bigger. So here we have 80 as of only a few weeks ago. We've had some drops. Like I said, this thing is volatile. It's wild and wacky. And it makes those big steps. I showed you. But if we can go from 80 on June 27th to 74, $6 move in a week, then we can have a rebound at least back up to 78, as long as we can push past 76. But these are expected when you look at the last 2 weeks. You can expect it to go up and down, but we're waiting for some solid news. We're waiting for the tariff changes. We're waiting for the expirations next week through August. It's going to be a wild ride. Keep an eye on this one. Moving on is Maine. You're like, whoa, Maine, hold on. Real estate? What are we doing? Real estate freaks people out. What was it? REITs? I don't know how people call REITs. The whole, high dividend yields on these real estate stocks and REITs and all these. Oh, freaking out. I know. But look at this. Can you just take a second and just look at this chart with me for like 2 minutes? I think it's pretty interesting. So of course we had the drop into April from a nice peak after the elections into February, like most things did. Okay, and we know that. But we are near those highs again, and we haven't seen much change for the positive on the real estate side, right? Prices are still high, supply is still high. We're not getting, it's a buyer's market in the sense of inventory, is increasing inventory, but they're not selling. There's a lot going on with the market. The rate cuts aren't really going that fast. So, this one's interesting because we are almost back to those highs from 48. Let's just say 50, right? So we're talking 50, yeah, $12. A $12 move in the last, May, June, end of May, somewhere in there. So 6 weeks, 8 weeks from those lows. And we pushed up here without any major catalyst in the news to help out real estate. Maine's got something going on that I think we should pay attention to. It's fared really well. If you look back historically, here's COVID. It was at $45 before COVID, and it took a year, roughly, depending on how far. Let's see, March 20 to March 20 to, so a year and a half. A year and a half to get from that crash back up to its baseline, prior crash, prior COVID. And then, of course, it's done some crazy, wacky stuff all in the middle. We've had 22 is a rough time for the market. So, everybody had kind of a lot of issues here. It's crazy. This looks like a head and shoulders almost. Shoulder, head, shoulder, but it didn't drop. So it kind of failed. And then it kept moving. Now, I would have thought this could be a possible head and shoulders here at first. It's a broken head and shoulders possibly. I mean, we have let's see, can I draw? I apologize. I'm still working on learning. Yeah, we can try to do this. Here's a head. I'm sorry, here's left shoulder. Right there. Here's the head. Right there. And then we have the right shoulder here. So there's a possible head and shoulders right there. We had a drop right here past the neckline, which would be here. So it went from 55 to 47. Not a huge drop. But this stock doesn't really do massive moves. And now we've trickled right back up. Pretty strong. Look at that MACD. Reversed right here after confirmation of the 50. Bull band got tight. And even though volumes were some red, MACD did not show that. The bullish indicator here did not show that. It never crossed back down underneath. Even though we have these red volumes, this big candle, even RSI, stochastic, and we have a stochastic bull trend right here, reversal and up. It's kind of like, nah, it didn't even care at all. It was the end of the tightened bull band, and it jumped straight back up. So it's like, and when I say retest the 50, I meant 50 in the bull band, not the 50 EMA is actually up here, which is another reason why I want to show this, because we have crossed. Finally, we have crossed that. It stayed down below for a long while here. Crashed, 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 50, 50, 50. And then finally, we have retested right there of the 50, true 50 EMA, and we are now above and even more bullish here with increasing MACD. On the dailies, we can go to the 1 hour and see how much that difference is. I like it. I like it. RSI is a tad hot here over at 63. Getting there. We're not there yet. 70, 80, we're hot. But 63 is kind of that Goldilocks area where it's like, oh, we still have some buying pressure. We still have less selling pressure yet. We have MACD turning bright green. We've got that bullish movement up. We've got some nice daily, full daily green candles. Look at this. Full green, mostly green, mixed, mixed, mixed. But overall, if you look at all of them, it kind of all look somewhat similar in a way, right? MACD, same idea, but we're pushing, we're pushing, we're pushing. So I think Maine is one to keep an eye on. If you want to, we could quickly look at Main Street dividend. I already went to this earlier today, and I was like, interesting. So we have a dividend monthly of 25 cents a share based on a $60 to $61 share. 25 cents monthly. And we have bullish movement. We've got positive indicators. We've got the tariffs coming up in between now and August, so that you never know how it's going to change things. But if we can get back to those all-time highs of 62, then sky's the limit at that point. Now look at what it's come through. Yes, it was flat for a lot of this. Yes, it dipped down to 31 from a high of 45. That is significant for a stock like this from August to September of 22, 1 month. That's the worst it's done outside of COVID, and we know that was a very hard time for the market. So keep an eye on this one. I like this a lot for dividend return, potential growth. Sure, it is risky when it comes to the idea of a real estate based company, but look into it, do your due diligence, not financial advice, and see what this one can do for you. This one and I think other ticker O, they're very kind of similar, but I like this one better. I think the upside was impressive in that we're sitting on that 50 and above. I really like that right here. This whole part right there. And yeah, so keep an eye on that. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. Link in the bio for the Discord. Come on over. I know this hat's just ridiculous. Oh man. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. I appreciate it. And Eagle time. Let's go have some fun. Be safe out there. Happy Independence Day for everybody. And we'll see you all in the Discord. Give some shout outs to the 5th day of Expert of the Week, Independence Day. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Thanks so much.